Good morning, good afternoon, I'm Kat. Welcome to this practice. We are going to be using the wall today, and we're going to be moving quite fast between standing poses and handstands and twists. So put your seatbelts on and gather your yoga kit and let's get started. Here we are, ready to start. Make sure you have a block by the side for our Marichyasana 3s, and let's come straight into Adho Mukha Svanasana with the heels pressing back against the wall. Seeing our feet, spreading the toes, seeing our heels and activating them to the wall. Feeling how the more we keep our heels consistently pressing to the wall, the more alert our legs become. Now lifting the fingertips up and find the heels of the hands. And push yourselves away from the heels of the hands. Feel the arms lengthening, having more sensation. The armpit area opening. Feel the upper back. And try to press the shoulder blades both in towards the back of the chest and simultaneously down the back towards the hips. And now bring the feet together so that the inner feet are touching, the heels are pressing against the wall. Lift the right foot off the floor, bending the knee, and extend the leg up to the sky, and find with the right foot the wall. And now stepping the right leg forward to a nice wide lunge, and moving the back foot all the way back to the wall so the entire sole of the foot is pressing against the wall. Squeeze that back inner knee. Try to press the buttocks down. And now coming onto the forearms, keeping the back leg straight and charged. Squeezing that back inner knee. Feeling the whole sole of the foot pressing into the wall. Broaden the shoulders away from the ears, the shoulder blades going down the back, the cervical spine long. Keep pressing that back foot against the wall. And then releasing and back to Adho Mukha Svanasana with our feet together. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, push the front thighs back. And now bring the left foot off the floor, bend the knee and extend the left leg up, finding the wall. Ekapada Sarvankasana. Push yourself away from the heels of the hands over and over again. And now stepping the left leg forward to a nice wide lunge. Moving the right foot back until the sole of the foot finds the wall and press into it. Feel the leg activate. Squeeze the back inner knee. And now coming down onto the forearms. Keep pushing out through that back foot, squeezing the back inner knee, wrapping the muscles around the thigh bones. And now broaden the shoulders away from the ears. Feel the neck become longer, the face quieter. And then back up, Adho Mukha Svanasana, normal feet, heels pressing against the wall. Lift the fingertips up. Find the heel of the hand and press down and forward. And from that, feel the weight of the pose moving back, moving back, moving back. And then exhale, releasing, and knees to the floor. Taking our block, arms distance away from the wall. Madhyasana 3s. Making sure this foot is facing forward, preparing to turn and twist to the right. And exhale across. Keep the left heel firm, the left leg firm. Both sit bones pressing down on the block, evenly, equally. And keep pressing the arm and the leg against each other. Tractioning the twist from there, walking the right hand back. And 3, and 2, lift the chest, and 1. Changing sides. Preparing to turn to the left. Densify that right leg. Keep the right heel firm. Feel the presence of both sit bones pressing down so that we can better rise up. The chest to the sky. The front shoulders rolling back. The shoulder blades going down the back. With each exhale, turning, twisting. 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale and releasing. Moving the block and coming to arm balancings. So you can either do them this way, where you're walking the feet up the wall, or you can turn around and do them the other way. Either way, spreading the fingers, the palms widely, the arms firm and the inner elbows facing forward so that the shoulders can be broad. Coming in. For those of us jumping, lift the left leg up nice and high and hopping up. Check on the inner elbows. Roll the right upper arm to the right, the left upper arm to the left, so that the inner elbows are facing forward as much as possible. Now press down into the hands, the heels of the hands, in order to rise up, to get taller and taller and taller. And 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back down. And Padahastasana. Hands underneath the feet. Inhale, looking up. Grip the legs up. Broaden the shoulders. And exhale, pulling ourselves down. And then releasing and coming back to your version of arm balances. Spreading the palms, spreading the fingers, the inner elbows facing forward, more and more awareness there. The shoulders broad. And coming in. For those of us jumping, lift the right leg up nice and high now and hopping up. Lining the inner feet up together. The inner elbows facing forward, the shoulders broadening. Now press down in order to lift up, to lengthen. That's it, pressing down to lift up. Gravity and anti-gravitational forces here. And 3, and 2, and 1. Slowly lowering down. Padahastasana. Let the head hang completely, the face be quiet, the brain be cool. But keep the legs alert, the feet present, the inner groins rolling back. and then coming back up. And coming to the wall for Uttita Trikonasana. Outside edge of the left foot against the wall. Nice wide stance. Using the block if needed. Grip the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Reaching. Push the outside edge of the foot against the wall consistently, continually, the whole time. Stretch the arms apart. Make sure the trapezius muscles aren't hunching up by the ears. Iron them down, away. Follow that action with the shoulder blades moving down the back. And with each exhale, turning and twisting. The bottom abdomen coming to the top. The bottom lung moving to the top. And 2. And 1. Inhaling up. And releasing. Changing sides. Get width between those feet, nice wide distance. Grip the legs. Inhale. And exhale, reaching. Push the outside edge of the foot against the wall continually, the whole way down. Stretch the arms apart. The legs firm. The presence of the outside edge of that foot consistently there, feeling the wall pushing back at you. With each exhale, turning, twisting. First roll the bottom abdomen to the top, then the middle abdomen to the top, then the bottom lung to the top. Trapezius muscles down the back, and 2, and 1. Inhaling up, and exhale, releasing. Marichasana 3. Taking our blocks, setting up, right knee bent, left leg extended, sit bones widened a little bit, preparing to go to the right. Even though we're twisting, keep presence in that left leg, keep presence in the pressure of the right foot, the heel firm. Keep presence in the lifting of the mirror of the sternum plate. And 3, and 2, and 1. Releasing, changing sides. Widening the sit bones again, preparing to the left. Find the twistingness with the exhale, establish that pattern with each exhale and beyond the exhale. But reclaim any passiveness that's taking place in the right leg, in the sole of the left foot, the heel. And re-brighten the mirror of the sternum plate as we turn, as we twist. And 3, and 2, and 1. Exhaling, releasing. Turning to face the wall with our block. Pincha Mayurasana. If you're not coming up all the way, just hopping, starting to get that strength happening in the arms, making an L shape. You could put a strap around your arms just above your elbow if you wanted to ensure that parallel alignment of the forearms. And walking the feet in, lifting the left leg up, and hopping, lifting. Press the forearms down in order to lift up more. Climbing the heels up the wall. Keep pressing down in order to lift up more. More and more, climbing the heels higher and higher. And 3, and 2, and 1. Slowly coming down and releasing. Bringing the arms in front, interlocking the fingers, turning the palms out. Parvatasana, Inversion. Press those front thighs down and don't let the lower back arch. Now use the arms to lift the armpits, to lift the kidneys, to get more and more length. And 3, and 2, and 1. Coming down, changing the interlock. Other side. Parvatasana, Inversion. Anchoring the pose through the density of the thighs, pressing down. Not allowing the lower back to arch. And then using the arms strongly to get that lift from the downward energy rising up. The armpits lengthening. The kidneys rising up. And 3, and 2, and 1. Coming down. And releasing. Pincha Mayurasan, the other leg. Making sure that the elbows are coming in towards each other, not splaying. Straightening the legs. Walking the feet in. Right leg lifts. And hopping and lifting. Line the inner feet up. And now press down into those forearms. And from that pressing downness, get taller, longer, and climb the heels up the wall. Over and over again, press down to climb up taller and taller. Press down to climb up. Press down to climb up. And 3, and 2, and 1. Slowly coming down. And releasing. Parahastasana. Hands underneath the feet. Grip the legs. Inhale, look up. And exhale, forward. And then gently releasing and coming back up to standing. Virabhadrasana 2 into Parshvakonasana, outside edge of the back foot against the wall. Nice wide stance. Inhale, sharpness, firmness. Exhale, make a square. Make sure the fingertips are still touching the back wall. Otherwise, it means your spine is moving forward. Still in Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale. Exhale, reach to the right, absorb the right femur bone. Keep the outside edge of the left foot firm against the wall. And fingertips to the floor, or a block, of course. Stretch the left arm to the sky. Turn the top arm. Push into the outside edge of that back foot, squeeze the back inner knee, and extend that top arm diagonally away. Dynamic. Giving more of yourselves, more alertness, more noticing, and with each exhale, turn and twist. And then inhaling up. And exhale, releasing. Changing sides. Width, broadness, grip the legs. Sharpness, lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale, make a square. Make sure the fingertips of the back hand are touching. Push into the outside edge of that back foot. Virabhadrasana 2. And now inhale and exhale, reach to the left. Draw the head of this femur bone in. Stay connected to the outside edge of the back foot and fingertips to the floor. Now really push into the outside edge of the back foot. Squeeze the back inner knee. Turn the top arm and extend. Full dynamic extension, really reaching. Pushing into the outside edge of that back foot. And each exhale, twisting and turning. And again. One more time. And then inhaling up. And exhale. And releasing. Marichasana 3. Right foot forward, left leg extended. Turning to the right. Bolt the outer hips together. And from that, stretch the front spine more and more as you turn and twist around that newness of length. And releasing, changing sides. To the left. Everything firm, everything sharp. Bolt the outer hips together. And from that, lengthen the front spine. And with the exhale, turn around that length. Over and over again. And 2. And 1. Exhaling and releasing. Block to the side, grabbing a strap, and lying down, Supta Tadasana, feet towards the wall. Coming to Parivrita Supta Parangushtasana. Lift the right leg up. Loop on the arch of the foot. Left hand holds the strap. And of course, the rest of the strap goes underneath the shoulder blades, and we're pulling with the other hand out to the side. Bringing the leg towards us and across, towards us and across, towards us and across. Keep that left foot connected to the wall. As much as possible, keep staying connected to the length of that left leg and the left foot against the wall. And the length of the right leg, pushing out through it too, as if there was a wall you were pressing the sole of the right foot to. And now with the exhale, turn and twist. First the lower abdomen from the left to the right. And then the middle abdomen from the left to the right. And then the top chest from the left to the right. And then bringing the leg back up and releasing. Supta Tadasana. Left leg lifting. Strap going underneath the shoulder blades from the right to the left. Right hand holds the strap, legs are firm. And bringing the leg towards us and across, finding Parivrita Supta Parangushtasana. Establish presence in the foot against the wall. Straighten both knees. Keep pushing out the length of that right leg into the foot against the wall. And now also pushing out the length of the left leg out through the sole of the left foot as if it was pressing against a wall too. And now with each exhale, let's begin to twist first from the lower abdomen right to the left. And then the middle abdomen right to the left. And then the top chest area right to the left. And then bring the legs back up and exhale and releasing. Coming to lie down on your mat with your shoulders lined up with the long edge of the mat, with your hands holding the mat firmly, nothing passive here. Press the hands down and away from each other. So the elbows are lifted, knees up, Jatara Parivartanasana. Inhale and exhale the knees to the left elbow. Inhale and exhale, turn and twist the trunk to the right. Each exhale, twisting, turning more. And as you twist to the right, absorb the left femur bone into the hip. Each exhale, turning and twisting us to the right more, the hands really pressing away from each other to help that action. And be sure to draw the left femur bone a little bit more into the hips, as it'll have a tendency to push out more. And 3, and 2, and 1. Bringing the legs back up. Inhale, press into the hands, down and away from each other, make the arms firm. And exhale, the knees to the right elbow. Inhale, and exhale, turning and twisting the trunk to the left. Rolling, turning, twisting. Each exhale bringing more twistingness over and over again. But be sure to draw the head of the right femur bone a little bit more into the hips to avoid its tendency to push out. And 2. And 1. Bringing the legs back up, rolling over, and coming back up. Okay, back to Adho Mukha Svanasana with our heels against the wall. Press those heels back, press the front thighs back, and relax the face completely, stretching the arms. And now bring the feet together. Lift the right foot up, bending the knee, extend that leg upwards, find the wall with the foot. Make sure the kneecap is facing down. And now begin to walk the hands in and walk that foot up, making sure to keep the leg as straight as possible. Just squeeze that right inner knee. And see if you can press your left heel down to the floor now. Walking the hands in as much as possible. Keep rolling that lifted leg in to allow it to roll out. Squeeze the inner knees. Femur bones into the hip sockets. And 3. And 2. And 1. Exhaling, releasing. And stepping that right foot forward to a nice wide lunge. Go an even wider lunge so the knee is an open angle and the foot is right in front of the face. Bring the right arm underneath. Come onto the outside edge of that foot. Move the sole of the left foot back to the wall. And coming down, extreme pigeon. With the exhale, charge the back leg. Feel the presence of the foot pressing into the wall. And now with the next exhale, deepen and open the front groin, coming closer to the foot. And coming back up, Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. Press the heels back, push the front thighs back, activate everywhere. Become sharp again. And now bring the feet together. Lift the left foot up, bending the knee, extend the leg up, find the wall, and begin to walk the hands closer and closer, moving the foot up, squeezing the left inner knee so the leg stays as straight as possible, charged, rolling the thigh in, not letting it roll out, so the kneecap is facing the wall. And now try to lower the right heel down. Grip the legs, femur bones coming into the hip sockets, even here. And push yourself away from the hands. And 2. And 1. Walking the hands forward, stepping the left leg forward to a nice wide lunge. Overextending the angle of the knee. Foot in front of the face, move that back foot back. Come onto the outside edge of the front foot. Forearm underneath. Extreme pigeon. With the exhale, push down the length of the back leg, squeeze the back inner knee, and with the sole of the foot find the wall, push into it. And with the next exhale, deepen that front groin, the hip, and bow the head even closer to the foot. And then releasing. The last one, Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels to the wall. Re-establish presence everywhere. Smooth inhalations, smooth exhalations. From the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes, feeling ourselves, distributing that breath, that awareness. And then exhale, bending the knees. And coming to sit on the ground. Continuing with our hips a little bit, double pigeon. Setting ourselves up so that as much as possible, the shins are parallel to the front mat. Of course, taking support as needed to protect knees, taking height under the hips as needed. Coming forward, Yoga Mudrasana. Stretch those arms, don't let the elbows bend. And the more we walk the fingertips forward, the more we ground the hips and the outer thighs down and backwards. And now walking the hands to the right, all the way across. So not just diagonal, but all the way across as much as possible. The back hand is bending, so you can press in it and twist. And the left arm is walking forward, bringing one more length. And to the left. All the way across. That back arm, the back elbow is bent, the fingertips are pressing down to help you turn and find that twist. And the front arm, the right arm, is walking forward, stretching, bringing length. Length and twistingness, length and twistingness. And then coming back up and releasing to change sides. Placing the foot as much as we can on the inside of the knee, lining the feet up with their respective knees as much as possible. And exhaling forward, Yoga Mudrasana. Keep the arms dynamic. Stretch straight, guiding you forward, bringing that length relentlessly. But at the same time, ground the pose through the buttocks, through the hips that are moving down and back. And now to the right, all the way across. Each arm has a different action. One is twisting, one is lengthening. And to the left-hand side. All the way across. Finding the different actions of the arms. And entering through those. and freeing ourselves. Shavasana. So taking whatever you need, a blanket or folding your mat up, and if you need a wall, of course, come into a wall. Let's meet back on the mat. Coming in, making sure that our elbows are in no way wider than our shoulders. Activating the forearm, pressing down and bracing the shoulders back and feeling that action coming there. Crown of the head to the floor. Keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders up, bringing the lats in, and then straightening the legs and walking the feet closer, closer. Stage 1, bending the knees, bringing the heels to the buttocks. Press down into the forearms and lift the shoulders up again. Stage 2, keeping the knees bent, but moving the thighs back so the kneecaps are facing the sky. Vajrasana and Shavasana. Move the middle buttock forward and the front thighs back. Press the forearms down, lift the shoulders up. And finally, straightening the legs and finding Shavasana. Keep pressing the outer wrists down. Don't let them get lighter than the elbows. Keep lifting the trapezius muscles up, the shoulders up, so that the armpits aren't sinking, closing in on themselves like caves. Keep charging the legs up. Remember our Pincha Mayurasans with our heels against the wall. How we were climbing the heels higher and higher. We want to keep doing that in this pose, even if we don't have a wall behind us. So first of all, finding the base of the pose, the forearms, and pressing down, and from that rising up, the shoulders, the waist getting longer, the legs charging up, the feet reaching up, the heels higher away from the floor. And feel that new liftingness everywhere. Try to maintain that alertness, that state of liftingness, noticing when things drop, when things get passive, and re-lift up into that. But in all of this, keep the face relaxed, the eyeballs soft, the gaze diffused. Recharge one more time. Both the outer hips, lift up the legs. Suck the outer thighs towards each other and lift up the legs. Pull the outer edges of the feet down towards the earth and push up through the inner legs out through the ball of the foot. That's it, reaching, lifting, reaching, lifting. And preparing to come down through the stages. Bending our knees, finding Vajrasana in Shavasana. Kneecaps facing the sky, middle buttocks pushing forward. Relift the shoulders, brace the arms, lats in. And then coming down to stage 1, where we enter by bringing the thighs, the knees towards us. Re-press down into the forearms, the outer wrist, lift the shoulders up again. Shoulder blades moving down the back, away from the ears. And then unfolding the legs, the feet back to the ground. Knees on the mat. And finding Yoga Mudrasana in Vajrasana. Use the exhale to caress the trapezius muscles down the back as you stretch the arms forward. And it's now time for Shavasana. So let's move away from the wall and gathering all of the blankets or chairs, straps that you might need, and meeting back on the mat. Making sure that our loop allows for parallel arms, so not widening or not tightening too much. And let's come in to our Shavasana. Rolling up to a kind of messy halasana. It doesn't matter if your knees are not straight here because we are putting the strap on the arms. So threading the arms through the strap above the elbows, rolling the shoulders back, interlocking the fingers, and stretching the arms straight. And then re-rolling each front shoulder back. Stretching the arms away. Bring the chin slightly towards the throat to ensure that the back of the neck stays long and then that you're not pressing from the back skull. We want to make sure that we're in a shoulder stand and not in a kind of back headstand. Now release the interlock of the fingers and place the hands on the back. And prepare for stage 1, bending the knees, bringing the heels to the buttocks. And then stage 2, keeping the knees bent, bringing the knees to the sky, like a Vajrasana in Sarvangasana. Try to push the middle buttock forward and to push the front thighs back as much as possible. And now extending the legs, straighten the legs, and find Sarvangasana. Press the upper arms down in order to lift up. So imagine that your heels were against a wall. And we want to climb the heels higher and higher, but we need to do it from the base of the pose. So really feeling the front shoulders opening. There'll be that tendency to hunch them up to the ears. Keep clearing that. Feeling the back armpit move to the front armpit. The elbows dense. See if we can bring the hands higher up the back, closer to the base of the pose. The hands reminding the back ribs to press in and up. In and up. Now bolt the outer hips towards each other and recharge the legs. Lifting up. Over and over again, lifting up. And any part of the mind, the body that wants to come down, recharge it with that lifting up energy. Make sure the front thighs are still moving back. Make sure the buttocks not hanging. Absorb the middle buttock forward as you move the front thighs back. Lift up, charge up, lift up, charge up. Spread the toes. Almost there. Give it your all for these last precious seconds. Be everywhere alive at the same time. Completely engaged. And 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Coming down through our stages. Bending the knees. Vajrasana in Sarvangasana. And then bringing the knees and the thighs towards us into stage 1. And then extending the legs, the feet coming to the floor behind. And bringing the strap off the arms. Coming into halasana. Bring the hands behind you, interlock the fingers, stretch the arms straight. And roll each shoulder back. And keep the arms dynamic. They're not passive. They are stretching away from you. But the arm muscles are wrapping around the arm bones. And the arms are pressing down in order to get more of that lift upwards.
Looking at the front thighs, activate them too. Press them up. Push into the feet. And now change the interlock of the fingers behind the back. And take the time to re-roll each shoulder back. And to re-stretch the arms away dynamically, but to contract the muscles around the bones. So the arms feel firm. And they're densifying and pressing down into the blankets. And from there, the back body can find its lift. The moment you feel the arms relaxing, recontract them. Keep pressing the front thighs upwards, away from you. Keep the feet firm, helping you to keep the legs sharp and alive. And then releasing the hands and preparing to unroll down. And as the feet come to the floor, moving the hips back until our upper back shoulders are completely on the mat. Resting the knees against each other, arms extended. Soft, smooth inhalation and exhalation. And then rolling over, pushing ourselves up and preparing for our penultimate pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So 3 blocks or just 1 block for under the tailbone, moving the mat out of the way so that we can slide and not have the stickiness be in the way. So if you're using 3 blocks, we've got 2 for the feet against the wall. We'll just quickly show. And 1 for under the tailbone so that the feet are at the same height as the tailbone. Or you could just use 1 block if you don't need to go that high and you want a little bit more arch. So picking what feels right for you today. And let's come in. Strap is helping our legs to stay parallel and active, particularly the outside of the thigh, which has a hard time coming into touch with itself. It's like a forgotten area. So helping this area to squeeze in, to stay squeezed in, so that we don't take the arch in the lumbar. We're bringing the malleability to the thoracic spine and the dorsal spine. Okay, coming in. Pressing into the feet and lifting the hips up, taking hold of your other block. Lift the heels up so you can get the hips even higher and putting the block right underneath the tailbone. So that's low down on the spine. And then extending the legs and finding the wall, placing your heel on the block setup that you chose, or on the floor, of course, if you'd prefer that. Lining the inner feet up as much as possible, pressing the heels down. And if you're too far away from the wall, this is where you get to push into your feet and pull yourself back with your block until your legs are straight. So the hands are interlocked behind the block, the arms are straight, shoulder opener, just like the arms of Halasana that we just came from. And let's take the time to re-roll each shoulder back and to make sure that the back armpit is moving to the front armpit, that the shoulder blades are pressing up, that the middle buttocks are pressing up, the tailbone is pressing up, but the front thighs are pressing down. So even though it appears passive, it isn't. We're working with a lot of different sensations, awarenesses, softness in some area, for instance, the abdomen, the face, but alertness in other areas, and navigating that, feeling that with the breath, smooth and even inhalations and exhalations. Keep pressing the front thighs down to the thigh bone and bringing the outer thighs in towards each other, helping the strap, not pressing against the strap, but drawing the strap in. And now let's change the interlock of the fingers behind the block and take the time to re-roll each shoulder back one at a time. Feel the back armpit coming to the front armpit as you press the arms down. Get the lift up. The thoracic ribs, the shoulder blades pressing up. Feeling the corresponding front ribs opening underneath the breast, underneath the nipple area, that expansion taking place. The buttocks are not just hanging down on the block, they're pressing up, the tailbone's pressing up, and the front thighs are pressing down. A few more breath cycles here, just letting the shape really settle into our systems. That inner expansion, that inner freedom. And now releasing by bending the knees and placing the feet on the floor nice and parallel. We're lifting the hips up 3 times before we move the block. So press into the feet, lift the hips up once and come back down. Lift the hips up twice and come back down. Lift the hips up a 3rd time, moving the block and coming down 1 vertebrae at a time onto the earth. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. And then just removing the strap and ending with a little Dviparasutta Pavanamuktasan. Making sure to go with the idea of length in the spine, not rounding the spine, but lengthening it. Even space between each of the vertebrae. So just forget about bringing the knees towards the chest and be in the pose thinking of the integrity and length of the spine. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. And then releasing the feet to the floor and rolling over. And finally, a light Shavasana. So if you have a bolster or your blankets, you can roll them up to make a bolster shape. Nice to put under our knees right now, so that as we're resting, we really have that healthy pelvic tilt. If you like a blanket under the neck and head, go ahead and take that. And here, before we close our eyes and release into Shavasana, let's just lift the hips up and with the hands, engage the pelvic tilt. So moving the buttocks towards the bolster, We can feel the lower back come to the floor, and we can feel the abdomen recede towards the lower back. And then extending the arms out, rolling each shoulder back, so that as we rest, we're resting in that openness. And then with an exhalation, closing the eyes and surrendering to Shavasana. And then gently just rolling ourselves over to the right hand side, sliding the bolster out of the way or holding it between the legs. And then pushing ourselves back up gently and just taking a seat on the bolster. Ending our practice together with one Om. Inhale. And then the hands coming down to the thighs, the chin lifting, the eyelids opening. And we are ready for our day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste to all of you,
I hope we practice again together soon. Take care.